Okay, you guys asked for a hot foiling video with metal stencils. So for those of you that are not familiar with these metal stencils, I think most of them were manufactured by Dreamweaver. They were really popular back in the day when we would stencil through them or do embossing paste through them because they're metal, they hold up. They're very, very intricate, and you could do paper rubbing with them with embossing tools, like these kind of embossing tools. You could, do the rubbings with them. But now in the age of electronic die cutting and so on, I think a lot of these kind of went by the wayside. If you are interested in purchasing these, please check out Tesla Crafts. They have 1 million of these. One of the few companies that I know that still carries them. They do wonderful samples of putting embossing paste through there. And then when it dries, you take the stencil and put it back on. And then you ink blend over the embossing paste. So they do a lot of wonderful ideas with these stencils. But you guys asked me, hey, can we hot foil these? So I did find them. They were in with my stencils. The first place I should have looked was the last place I looked. And I did a couple experiments with using the Gemini foil press. Now, the reason I use this is because I know that these foils transfer at a lower heat. So I have my machine on low, 15 seconds, and voila, I have the backwards plate here. So this is just a Gemini hot foil plate. I have it on here backwards because I really kind of need this full surface to foil. So what I'm going to show you is how my fails and successes. So the first one I did was this snowflake one, and I used this sandwich and I used the magnetic shim. Okay, so the Gemini magnetic shim, there you can see the impression, and it was just too much, and I got a lot of over foiling into the actual image. Okay, the second one I did is this Merry Christmas one, and it came out a little better, and I switched over to the embossing shim. So this is the Gemini just embossing shim, which is a little bit thinner. It's more of a silicone feeling. Okay. Then I moved over to paper shims, and I did this one with 3 paper shims, and it came out pretty darn good. So now I'm going to show you my successful sandwich and what I did. So I'm using this little pumpkin stencil here. Okay, and so my machine is on low. I have that backwards plate, and again, this is the Gemini foil press foil plate. You're going to have to experiment with your own machine, your own plates, your own foils, okay? But this is what worked for me. So I put that down. I'm going to put my plate down. You can see there's still embossing paste living on there, but that's okay. I'm going to cut a piece of foil. This is rose gold Gemini paper craft foil. Always put it away when you're done with it. Okay, so I'm going to cut off the excess, although it really doesn't matter because you're going to have excess. Just remember, what's going to foil is the metal. So in this case, it's the outside. The inside should remain white. So you're reverse foiling here. You're foiling the outside, okay? So I'm going to put that down. Then I'm going to put a piece of my pearl paper I've been using. It's 65-pound weight. And I'm going to use 2 paper shims. 2 paper shims seems to be my magic ticket. These are 120-pound paper shims. All right, and I'm going to leave that on just for a moment to warm up before I turn the timer on. And I turn the timer on 15 seconds on low because this is a very small die. And again, these were not meant for hot foiling. They are meant for stenciling. What I'm doing is an experiment based on requests from my viewers, because I do a lot of foiling, hot foiling, toner foiling, and so on. So you'll have to experiment with your own die cutting machine, your own hot foiling machine, to see if this is going to work for you. What you do is at your own risk. I am not responsible for any damage you may cause to your hot foiling machine, your mat, or your die cutting machines. I do these experiments at my own risk, and I share the results for you guys. And we'll see how well this one comes out. Now, obviously, different thicknesses of paper are going to give you different results. Different foils are also going to give you different results. I'm running this through my Gemini Junior now. Oh, that's a little loud. Alright, I'm going to move this over to the side. And so we're going to lift our metal stencil out of the way. And you can see it's embossed, which is beautiful, but we want to see if we got some foiling here, right? So I'm going to take my little tweezers. I should have made the foil the same size as the die. Alright, now I'm going to pull up the clear sheet. So you can see that foiled pretty nicely. I have some spots here, and I think that's from the paste. That is from the paste. So I would say make sure your plates are fully cleaned. I did not do a good job of getting this paste off, and you can see that paste has transferred onto my paper here. So do that. Any spots that you have are over foiled, you're going to take your mono sand eraser, okay, and you're going to erase any of those spots that are over foiled. But as you can see, that looks pretty good. I really don't have any bad spots on here. That looks good. Now, you can certainly leave it like this, but I'm going to ask you to take it up a notch. We're going to bring the stencil back in. And Chow found these little brushes, and I think Tracy was also using this on her video. And I'm going to start with a little, and they're in my Amazon shop. They're little makeup brushes. I'm going to grab some ink, and just like a stencil, I'm going to lightly go in and color those white areas. And again, this is totally optional, but I think this really makes it look cool. I'm going to go with a little green. And then what I'm going to do is pull that stencil off. And now we have a hot foiled stencil, metal stencil. And I can now cut this down, you know, and make it card front size. So you're going to mostly get probably a distressed look. I don't know that you can get a perfect look out of this method, but if you have some of these metal stencils in your stash, I know some of these guys, like I said, mine are 20 years old. You can certainly try that out. Here's the original one I did, and it came out nearly perfect. I did the other side, the back side of the stencil, which was not crusty. So I know I need to go do a better job at cleaning my stencils off, which is just basically soaking them in some warm water and soap, and then using a little nail brush to scrub off all of that extra texture paste. And then down at the bottom here are the markings from the hot foil, which I can cut off. And again, if you want to purchase these stencils, there's a variety of different ways you can use them. You can get them from Tesla Crafts. Always recommend supporting them, but look at how that looks. So yeah, you guys wanted to see me do that, and I did it for you. So varying results. And then of course we have that waste foil. If you guys wanted to use that, you'd put that back onto your plate and foil that. Let's see if I have an extra piece of paper here. We can put that on here. All right, we're going to let that sit on there for a few seconds. So yeah, I used the magnetic shim was too heavy. Using the embossing shim was still too heavy. Using 3 shims was too heavy, but using 2 shims came out just right for me. So you're going to have to try out your machine. Just another tool you can use. And again, there's a variety of different metal stencils out there, and you can use these with ink. You can use them with pigment powders like Perfect Pearls or Arteza mica powders. You can use these with deco foil paste and then foil over it. You can use it with Gina K glitter glitz. You can use it with deco foil metallics. You can use it with any shimmering bliss, the stencil company, stencil butters, lunar paste, you name it. There's a lot of different designs out there, a lot of fun you can have with these. So you can try those out now in your hot foiling machines. So there you go. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. I don't know that this is something that I necessarily would, you know, enjoy doing, but you guys want to stretch your supplies. It was a highly requested video, so I hope that you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, post them down below. Oh, let's foil this waste before we go. And if you like this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. And if you're new to my channel, check out my playlists on toner foiling and hot foiling. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button and the bell. I'm going to run this through and see what it looks like. So I just foiled that waste on a piece of scratch paper here. And that's the waste from our pumpkin there. And that's perfectly foiled. So now I have 2 pieces from the same piece of foil. There we go. So can you foil with your metal stencils? Yes, you can. All right, have fun with that, guys. Thanks for watching and keep on foiling. Bye-bye.